Brent, how does this situation inform your assessment of the valuations of these companies and the prospects for them? I mean, we've lived with the threat for a while. I know you've talked about this a lot, but at this point, we're going back and looking at old emails that suggest tacit alliances between Facebook and Google. We're also even looking to unwind approved mergers of the past. So is it a lot of just talk and noise, or do we have something to be concerned with?
We're treating it seriously, but we think, again, it's more of a sideshow for investors. It really has not had an impact. You look at the Amazon performance, you look at Facebook, Google, it's been fantastic performance. There's definitely been a shift towards the SaaS names and software as this has happened. I think you've also seen other names that are underneath the regulatory overhang, such as Snap, do very well. So I think investors are repositioned away from a potential issue as we go into 2021. But as we've been saying for quite some time, we do not believe there's going to be major regulatory breakups. And if we're wrong, the good news is investors will make more money because the value, some of the parts is greater than the whole when you look at the breakup value. Amazon, AWS, where you have software multiples trading today, could theoretically trade at an incredible multiple that they're not getting today. You look at companies like Snowflake, number of others that are trading at 50 to 100 times revenue. We're not endorsing these multiples, but the market is right now. And we think, again, you can make a case for the sum of the parts is greater than the whole.
Short of breakups, though, do the companies now stay in some kind of a defensive stance, whether it's not doing acquisitions that they might otherwise have done, or really is it about the business practices themselves? I mean, Microsoft wasn't really broken up, but was kind of caught up in these issues for some time.
I think if you look historically,
perspective. Go ahead, Bolt.
Brand, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think from a business perspective, you're not going to see a lot of a tremendous large M&A happening. You look, even Microsoft's largest deal this year is in their smallest subset, which is gaming. They didn't go directly in the core of collaboration or communication in the core where everyone thought they would go this year. So we think that they'll stay away from these big areas. And again, I think it's more of an issue of both sides coming together. And not necessarily, any breakup that's going to happen going forward.
Walter, what, if anything, might change about the emphasis, the tone, the priorities in the Biden administration? I mean, as you mentioned, both parties have reasons to take exception to some of the behaviors here. But Section 230 is something that seems like it's been more driven by the president, whereas things like more financial issues and just market power, perhaps the Democrats more concerned with.
Well, I think both parties are concerned with antitrust, and I agree that there's probably not going to be a breakup, whether it's a Biden administration, or in 8 years from now, there'll be a breakup. The only two times in history you had grand breakups was a century ago with Standard Oil and then with the AT&T breakup. But what you will have is what's happened with Microsoft and others, which is with the threat of breakup or the threat of antitrust, they have lawyers in every meeting. And so Microsoft doesn't totally embed things like, search or social media into their network because they were under antitrust investigation, and things like Google get to arise. I don't think that this is going to break down totally on partisan lines. And I just think in the long run, there's going to be a whole lot of sort of constrained behavior. You talk about Snap, its valuation going up a lot. Well, its valuation is going up a lot because it used to be Facebook would crush anything like that. But now they're probably lawyers sitting at Facebook meetings and saying, hey, if you really do that to Snap, that's going to be a problem. So I think just the process of antitrust is probably helpful to competitive processes.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.